It's pre-6. It's going to be more advantage to G2 because they have the Xin matchup in jungle versus Vi. But post-6, Vi and Ahri can really blast them
Bit
back.
of leather, put it on your toes as Skewmon did steal away the red. Lebrov here, looking for Kellen. Didn't quite get the slow from the volley out of Hans Summer, which means the follow-up with the beat drop not enough. Skewmon's coming across. Kellen has no flash. Wind becomes lightning. Q3 knock up Hans Summer there for the chase. And this time the arrow finds its mark. G2 get first blood. The limit right now, 5 seconds before he has that extra spell cast, but still G2 will be able to take the Drake, and then Skewmon can work his way back towards his blue buff. They're having a really good whale of a time right now. 400 gold lead in mid for Vikla over Caps, keeps him low. Enchanted Arrow will land onto Vikla. The wave cleared out there, the chains. Oh, they have to be careful! Oh, Caps and Hans Summer teaming.
Okay, here we go. The moment of truth. Vi ult is ready. Clear just got his Trinity Force. Clear is teleporting in with Trinity Force ready. And a big shield.
A third sack on the Mega Narbar. Caps trying to go in. Beat drop on court. Follow up as they dive onto Vikla, who does have the flash and manages to get it away. Broken Blade trying to get onto the back line as Raptor falls low. All out on him. He's down. Hans Summer trading with Clear, who's keeping the rest of G2 away from the fight, but the smite comes out and G2 win out on the battle, get a kill and get the Drake.
After like reacting to a level 1, that now it sets them up here with 1,000 gold lead, 2 dragon lead, and looking at Rift Herald.
Vikla off towards the top side of the Herald pit. Diablo and Raptor are there. Enchanted out, flashed away by Raptor. Pop Blossom doesn't land onto anyone but Broken Blade. Meanwhile, Skewmon on the backline's going to pop that Crescent Guard. Season Desist going on to Caps as well, who flashes away himself. Encore onto Diablo. He dashes away with the cleanse as well to escape the fray, but Raptor doesn't have that same luxury. He'll die to Skewmon. G2 still looking for the advance, but they can't get close enough to catch out BNK.
Woo, Caps lives. That is so close to death there. He squeaks away with the distortion.
The Rift Herald did go over to BNK, so they might be able to crack through this tower with 30 seconds left on the Drake as well. Kellen stepping a bit too far forward, caught out by the beat drop. There's the chains as well. And Kellen taking out on
11. You know, this is where you get your rank 2 ultimate, obviously, and your power spike really coincides with your first item, your upgraded Sork shoes, and your extra 4 stacks on your Dark Seal. So you get a lot of room to work with on this poke champion.
This is Soul Point as well for G2. Ocean Soul, a possibility for them. There's the Rift Herald put down by Raptor, try and get the charge in the mid lane, try and get Cryo for BNK to step in, but this Drake is already gone. Clear looking for a flank position. G2 can walk away before BNK can really react. The Rift Herald charge will come in, but it doesn't even take down the tower. Enchanted dodged away by Raptor. Vikla going in with the Spirit Rush, but dashing out with it as well. In the end, G2 will get the Drake, will kill off the Herald, and won't lose too much for it.
Yeah, feeling pretty strong here. Ultimate with Diablo close, but let's see if they can actually find one. Okay, Control Ward.
Caps the target, dashes away. Raptor goes in with the Cease and Desist onto Lebrov, but the Encore's going to land as well. Nice. Lebrov might just be sacrificed here. BNK with a great pick, finding Lebrov in the river.
Well, look what it cost them. You know, since they have everybody down here, that's going to be top. Just getting demolished. Broken Blade is up there, getting multiple tower plates. Vikla, of course, is able to finish.
He is just a tank. He's going to scale up into the game, doesn't need as much gold as someone like Clear, who is going to face check here. Pathmaker in, Wind becomes lightning as well. Clear looking for the Gnar, won't land the stun, but the Q3 is going to be procced by Skewmon as they continue to chase in. All out pulls Clear away from the wall. He's going to flash. Hans Summer caught out as Caps jumps in the way of the charm. Hans Summer taken down though. Vikla secures the kill. Caps looking for Cannon, can't land the second chains. Meanwhile, on the top side, Clear was able to escape with the help of Raptor.
Well, we got the revenge right there. Kellen and Diablo able to burst him down. Vikla here still looking for more as well. They're going to get a tower. And just like that,
to get those summoners out before the fight begins, but do you want to be using the arrow and then not have it up for the battle? Skewmon's going to try and take away the Scuttle Crab, but Raptor's here. Skewmon healing up with the Thunder Sky. TP is coming in as BNK want to take the fight. Skewmon diving forward, takes the kill on the enemy jungler, uses the Crescent Guard to mitigate some of the damage and then will flash away. Vikla flashing in, gets the charm onto Lebrov. Pop Blossom as well, but it's only going to land onto the support. Lebrov is down. Broken Blade Trader clear down towards the bottom side. Vikla trying to get towards the back line as well, but Hans Summer takes him out. Diablo now in the midst of them. The Gnar against the wall. Diablo trying to get out of vision in the bush, but it's warded. Caps jumps across. Clear goes down. Diablo trying to escape. G2 don't want to let him, but they might just have to. Caps will have the distortion. G2 will give up the ghost on Diablo, but will turn them off.
Start it again.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow about to come off cooldown. Diablo with no flash. Hans has his and his barrier. Broken Blade on that front line. Clear trying to build up the Mega Gnar. Raptor in the back of the pit. Caps just waiting, seeing if he can find a way in. Raptor starting up the Drake. Clear, keeping Broken Blade at bay. Caps dives onto Raptor, who tries to get onto Hunsummer. There's the cease and desist Crescent Guard to stop Vickler from getting the Spirit Rush in. That Crescent Guard was gorgeous. Hunsummer's still alive as well. They'll take down two. Callan kept at bay by Broken Blade and put in the dirt. G2 take 3 for naught and will claim the soul.
They keep Hunsummer safe and they claim the soul. They can walk over to Baron's side of the map now too with the Ocean Soul. I think that might just do it, Medic. They get the soul, they're gonna get the...
If Vickler does continue to push, there's the option for G2 to try and just force in towards the inhib. It looks like that's what they're gonna do. With a clone, while this is happening, Caps continues to chip away at that mid-tier 1. That will go as well. G2 extending the gold lead, 1.6k so far off this Red Bull Baron power play.
Okay. BNK actually mitigating the gold loss from those double big objectives quite well. Here we go.
Cease and desist onto Caps. Vickler there with a chase as well, but Caps dodges away and dodges the charm. Can he escape the clutches of BFX? The answer for now is yes. Pop Blossom doesn't get there. Caps with the Ocean Soul heals up enough. And while this is happening, G2 are knocking on the inhibitors. They'll take the bot lane inhib. The rift you have to feel. And just as we praise BNK for being able to mitigate some of the Baron power play, it has ballooned up to 3,000. Could be more as well, because there's another inhibitor tower in G2 sights. Caps trying to jump in, trade with Vickler, but there's the tower going down. And G2 still have 10 seconds left on the Baron. The inhibitor now their target. They'll take that too. Caps dashes in. Look at Diablo's health.
Hunsummer's only died one time against a team that has Vi, Nico, Ari, and Gnar all looking for his head.
These LCS players are just gliding at the moment as we see Raptor looking for the flank. Kelly going in with a Pop Blossom, and Hunsummer is caught, and just as you praise him, he dies immediately. Skewmon will trade onto Kelly. Crescent Guard doing a lot of work here. He's going to heal up as well with the Ocean Soul above. Is taken out. Skewmon trading with Raptor. Caps and Broken Blade diving up to the back line. Raptor still surviving for now, but Skewmon's still on the way. Stopwatch out of Caps to try and survive, and he dodges the Orb of Deception from Vickler. Vickler out. Broken Blade will put him in the ground, and now Raptor and Clear, even though you took 4k gold out of G2's pockets at the start of the fight, you still can't win it out. Raptor dashing across the wall, going back in with the Vault Breaker, but look at the Ocean Soul! You just can't heal them! They're lapping up your health and taking you out. G2 win out the fight!
Spy red buff up to get the engage, and they do delete Hunsummer this time around. Unfortunately for them, they're so far behind that G2 can still win the game.
That took them to the second spot in the LCK. They show the determination to not give up on the game. And for G2, you're not sweating, but there's a little bit of perspiration perhaps coming out.
All right, first Elder at first stands, and hopefully we're going to get more than 3 games as well, because this was a really fun one, Medic. I think it's about to end, but you know, there's always that little tiny ray of hope for BNK. Can they pull off a miracle here against Elder Dragon, plus Dragon Soul, plus Baron buff?
It would be miraculous if they can do it, but I don't put anything past this BNK lineup. The inhibitor will be taken out by G2. Raptor trying to keep the mid wave at bay. G2 pushing in for those Nexus towers. Broken Blade is going to deal with Raptor. First Nexus tower will be raised to the ground. Kellen looking for his engage. There's the Pop Blossom, gets it onto Hunsummer, but dies for it. Hunsummer so low, Crescent Guard coming out, but once again, you just don't have the damage. A Quadra for Hans to round it up as G2 take game 1.
We'll see how they deal with that once BNK get their 1 items and start to use a lot of these engage tools. How much gold are you giving up is kind of the question. Still has flash, but he's going to have to hedge towards the bottom side.
Now spotted by the minions. Flash, flag, and drag. Cataclysm for the follow-up. Caps needs to close the gap. The rebuttal won't be enough for Golden Eclipse. Just spells the death of... Won't be here in time. So BNK will be able to get their first dragon of the series after G2 were able to secure all 5 in game 1. But LeBron needs 1 more minion to hit 6 himself. Skewmon still has the Cataclysm and the Emperor's Divides available. Broken Blade looking to pincer from the top side. They'll go for Vickler first. No flash for him. There's the quickness. Equalizer down as well as Caps falls first. And now Skewmon is way too deep. Call to the Forge coming out will help Skewmon get the kill. Lebrov trying to keep Skewmon alive, but he just can't do it. Raptor finds the double, and Clear will find himself some sushi. 3 for BNK as they collapse on G2 making the play.
Yeah, G2 has flash. Caps didn't have his flash either from the previous Nocturne Paranoia, so Good stuff from B.
Caps still doesn't have his flash. Fear tether, blast cone prompt. Skewmon trying to come across, but the damage onto Caps is big. LeBron not there in time for the heal. There's the paranoia follow-up, and BFX are absolutely popping off in the early game. 1.6k gold lead as they force Skewmon to flash out of his own jungle.
Nice job attacking Caps there next to the red wall, not letting him get over that buff wall. He's unable to get through, so the snowball continues. Yep. Nice explosion of gold lead here. That's also going to be extra summoners down. No flash for Skewmon here.
This game. And he will be able to force Raptor away. Caps just trying to farm up towards that second item. First item complete, though, onto Raptor. Cannon coming in. Golden Eclipse not enough to kill off Caps. Skewmon trading with Raptor. He's going to flag and drag through, but look at the damage from the Radiant Volley. Into the Solar Snare, into the rebuttal on the Tidal Wave. Caps charmed up. LeBron trying to get there, trying to get the shields out. Acroprism not going to hit. Corner of the Forge Rod coming out from Broken Blade, but it's too little too late. Vikla will eventually fall, but G2 now need to retreat. They've already lost 2, and with the equalizer, make it 3. Fried fish on the menu for Clear as he picks up his second. BFX.
And then he uses ult kind of early, as you say, but then he stays out of range of the rest, and we're back to some action here.
BB with the TP onto Clear, who doesn't have Flash Cataclysm available for Skewmon, but doesn't really want to go for it yet. Raptor's on his way across. There's the paranoia, lock them both in, knock them both up, but still the Flame Spitter enough to get the kill onto Skewmon. Raptor will find it shut down for Broken Blade. Raptor trying to trade back in here with that experimental Hexplate. Has the extra attack speed, but BB flashing away. Searing charge back in into the Bellows Breath. Thought he could perhaps clip the heels of the Nocturne, but Raptor will be able to walk. At the moment for G2 is Hansama in that bot lane. Korkinami into Kaiser Rakan does have an advantageous early game, so kind of to be expected, but huge leads across the rest of the board as the bot looks for the Tidal Wave into the bubble onto Cannon. The Valkyrie forward from Hansama, and Cannon just thought he could play around with it. Good rebuttal there on the Emperor's Divide, stopping the knockback. But G2 do find the kill onto Cannon. Caps. The Golden Eclipse was not enough to kill him off with the heal.
Small response, of course. Yeah, you can grab some topside camps there in exchange for this. And it is only Dragon number 2, you say very hesitantly, but so it's not cross map. And do not send anybody out into open territory where they can get Nocturne ulted.
Clear. It's going all the way around through the walls here. There's the equalizer, paranoia follow-up there. Dive onto LeBron, who uses the Tidal Wave, still feared. Flame Spitter out from Clear underneath the tower. He'll just take 2 immediately. BFX just absolutely wiping away G2 in mid.
It's beautiful because clean to be able to safely retake that territory.
And it's also like, how does LeBron clean that? Like, he's a Nami, man. This guy is fish food if he walks in there. If anyone is waiting for him, he gets caught out. Emperor's Divide used by Caps onto Callum because of the possible follow-up. There's the paranoia. They'll dive onto LeBron again. TP coming out from Broken Blade, but LeBron is already down. And Raptor's just able to walk away. Hansama below half HP. Call to the Forge God coming out as G2 looked to see if they can find anything out of this, but BFX are unwilling to give an inch. G2 forced back again.
You know, it's only a 3k gold lead at the moment.
Only 2,000 gold in the mid lane. Vikla is a whole item ahead of Caps, man. I think it's a pretty sizable chunk of change that BFX are ahead as G2 do look to collapse onto Raptor. Gonna put the Cataclysm down as well. Raptor doesn't have the flash. He's locked in the pit, but BFX are keeping Hansama at bay. There's the equalizer down as well. Tidal Wave coming out. Caps jumping onto Clear, who flashes away. The Emperor's Divide doesn't find its mark. Meanwhile, the mid lane tower still low. Diablo has to flash away from the searing charge. And with the Bellows Breath, Broken Blade should be able to walk out. Golden Eclipse not enough to take him down. Still too tanky, but BFX in the end will still secure the tier 2 in mid.
Yeah, a lot of summoner spells blown in exchange for ultimates here. They did get the outway.
Skewmon getting caught out here. Solar Snare there for the follow-up, and Skewmon thought that all of BFX had just gone to the Drake, but BFX willing to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, again, trying to retake your red quadrant. It's so
very resounding no. BFX will secure not only the 3rd Drake of the game, but also their first Baron. As at 23 minutes, they have this 5,000. The rebuttal can do a lot of work. Vikla 2 levels up over Caps right now. Hansama trying to work his way across the mid lane. There's the paranoia equalizer follow-up, and Caps is dead before he can even pop his ultimate. The rest aggressive G2, likely to go pop 2. Diablo killer instincts out. Hansama there for the chase. They'll take 1. Clear now behind enemy lines as Raptor not tanking up the tower anymore. Clear trying to get in with the flame spitter. He'll go down as well. G2 so far have found 2 for only 1. There's 3. Cannon falls. Raptor needs to get the hell out of here. Flash forward from Skumon trying to chase down Vikla. Raptor running for the hills. Rebuttal doesn't block anything, but the solar snare catches 2. Flag and dragon down goes 1. Skumon looking for more. Can Raptor escape his clutches? A huge fight for G2. Skumon on the chase. Strikebaker slow. Dustbringer speed up. Might be enough, but Skumon will have the flag and drag back up in a second. Skumon flags and drags away from the tower. Can't get close enough. TP behind onto the standard. I think that's all she wrote. BFX overstep on the bot lane tier 2.
Yeah, that's 1 tower too deep. They want to delete backline again.
Raptor looking for that paranoia. Sundisk down from Cap, still only level 13. Paranoia onto Lebrov. Knockup coming out. Raptor falling low. Cannon diving onto the backline. Lebrov already down. Caps though able to go back in with Broken Blade here. Raptor with a good trap of darkness. Cataclysm coming out. Hansama still untouched pretty much in the fight. Skumon almost dies to the golden eclipse, and Caps doesn't have the damage to kill off Clear. G2 will trade the 1-for-1 so far, but it's BFX's jungler that is down.
Yeah, and Skumon can actually just heal off the red buff. He can grab his own red buff and circle back around. I mean, they're going to force it, but look at Diablo and Kellen.
Diablo has flash. Hans Valkyrie's out. Caps does have the flash and has the Emperor's Divide. Core of the Forge God available to Broken Blade as well. G2 will turn their attentions away, but Clear gets in behind them. Caps with the Emperor's Divide is dead where he stands. Clear doing so much work on Summer, unable to join the party. Does get a phosphorus bomb onto Diablo, but now Broken Blade needs to get out. Skumon getting burnt to a crisp by Clear. Flags and drags his way away. BFX still on the chase. Kellen diving in. Diablo flashing forward. Call of the Forge God. Who are they going for? It's Clear. Aqua Prism on him. The Rumble will fall. Vikla in the pit. Broken Blade dashing in. Red Diablo trying to get in there as well. The devil on his shoulder being outspoken by G2's demons. A triple for Hans, but Raptor's back up. Is it still just soul for BFX?
I mean, he's going to start it out, but there's so many members of G2 alive. Hans can still arrive. They've got the teleport coming in from Broken Blade. I think that's illegal from Raptor.
Vikla's going to TP back into the fight as well. Raptor looking to see perhaps he can just find a smite fight. Steal, Paranoia in onto Lebrov. Raptor gets the kill. Vikla forced away by BB. Raptor able to run away for now. Has the blast cone 2 to escape. Searing charge from Broken Blade. Doesn't land the knockup. The brittle prod not there in time to stop the blast cone back by BFX.
Okay, so Raptor's going to go back to base. Skumon is up now. He just revived, so he can actually get here. Hans is going to work down the dragon so that by the time Skumon gets there, he can smite it away. And G2 have done it. They have defended the dragon's soul. They're scaling, baby. Those Ornn upgrades with double buffs, chasing off enemy jungler that they do defend it. And now we're starting up Baron, actually.
BFX calling G2 to another Barney, to another fight. Bellow's breath out from Broken Blade. Call of the Forge God coming out as well as Caps tries to TP in. The rebuttal will knock up Caps with that Forge God. Diablo down to half HP. Quickness coming out as they try and get onto Caps. But look how far away Kellen is from the rest of the team. Equalizer down. But there's the follow-up with the Paranoia. Flash away from Raptor. BFX. Everything a little bit asynced here. Desynchronous from them as they went in 1 by 1 and had to dash out. G2 still standing relatively healthy.
Again, G2
no Paranoia, no Equalizer. G2 now the one setting up on the objective. Hansama on that front line needs to be healed up a little bit. Kellen still looking for the flank position. Broken Blade caught in the solar snare but uses the Bellow's breath to escape it. Caps goes in, the Emperor's Divide onto Diablo, and Caps finds his man. He'll die for it. There's a Cataclysm follow-up as G2 look to take the fight out from here. Hansama has to pop the barrier. Raptor going pop himself, flag and drag in. Raptor falls to the final order. Now Vikla needs to get out. The cannon missiles hit, but Vikla still finds the kill with a radiant volley. He'll go down. Broken Blade and Clear fighting out the top lane battle. The Forge God has answered the prayers of the EU as G2 find the ace. Oh my God. But it feels like he's found his purpose in this game, and that is to find Diablo. 1-7-5 and still basically won the fight for G2. Around that last Drake, the mid-tier 1 will be taken by G2. Their second tower
away too, so it's going to be really hard to take out that Corki. Look how G2 are positioning. People on all sides of Hans. They're circling around him. Corki in the middle now actually moving up. He's got the red buff.
Soulless Net dodging to the side of it. There's the Equalizer only onto Hans. Summer Paranoia going in as well. Caps pops the stopwatch. Sundisk down. Cannon trying to get in with that quickness. Raptor can still dive forward with that Paranoia, but it's expired now as G2 walk away. Golden Eclipse will chunk them out. Caps down to half HP, healed up by Lebrov. G2 will give up prio on the mid lane to walk down here to reset. They used the Tidal Wave and the Emperor's Divide, but nothing more. There's only Killer Instinct available to BFX.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted positioning on Dragon, but BFX are running now away from the Baron area.
Diablo, almost taken out. Call of Forge being called as well. That's the Cataclysm, and Diablo feels the rips of an earthquake through him as Skewmon buries him under his ultimate. BFX now realize they cannot fight against G2. They'll take the Baron, and G2 will take control of the game. Soul is up, Broken Blade's running across there. Skewmon might need to get across as well. Clearer started it, TP coming in from Vikler. Are G2 gonna trade the Baron for a Soul Hunt Summer on his way?
Yeah, they're trying to burn it down. Mountain Dragon is the tankiest one though, and now Hunt Summer!
TP coming in from Caps as well. He flashes for Vikler, Hunt Summer finds Vikler. Cannon going in with the quickness. Broken Blade keeping Raptor away from the Baron. Clear will kill off Hunt Summer, but with Caps here, G2 have the damage. Knock up coming out from Broken Blade, Raptor falls! G2, they take the Baron! They ward off BFX, and they'll stop the Soul!
Yeah, BFX knew their only shot now after G2 has scaled is to sneak away a Soul, and G2 peel off of the Baron. They come, they defend it, even with Hans going down, and the just full sent onto Diablo as well, and chunked Diablo down so low that he was deleted. So it's back-to-back huge games for Hans Sama, and he has the confidence because he's got this very tanky team around him to be able to do it, that have fully scaled here. So nicely done from G2. Now marching in with Baron. You can see the Baron powered cannon minions here, 4 of them for Broken Blade. He's commanding them all to destroy this tower.
Helen is on the longest flank I have ever seen in my life. He's in the enemy bot lane Tribush right now, but it could pay off. He's on his way across. Skewmon trying to get in here with G2 as well, but Kellen's still on the flank. I think Caps has now spotted him. Kellen's on his way. Paranoia out. Broken Blade down to a 3rd HP. There's the quickness, there's the charm, there's everything, and they'll kill off on Summer. Kellen with a beautiful engage. Now it's all on Caps to do the damage. Raptor trying to step up. Call of the Fortress coming out as well. Skewmon dives in onto Vikler. He locks both the carries into the pit, and they'll find them all! The Aqua Prism puts BFX sleeping with the fishes as G2, even with their AD carry dead, are still able to win out the fight. Hope springs eternal in EU. Where there is delusion, there is G2 as they go 1 game away from playoffs in first stand.
G2 have...
Well, you talk about what it gives to the composition.
Yeah, I mean, it does give you big potential with bubbles, you know, around separate angles, and gives you...
Tower shots. Diablo and Kellen are on their way across.
There's
Raptor's
no teleport
running
for Vikla, but Raptor is coming.
I mean, Cats is low. Does have the portal jumps. Skewmon looking for the smite. Kellen with a slam into the wall onto Lebrov. Skewmon going back in, will not get the smite. Raptor secures it. There was 1 HP on that Drake. Lebrov just getting away as well, but with the Aegis of Soul now timing out. Skewmon has to flash. Raptor going in. Cap steals the flash away onto Cannon, taken out by the Hammer Smash. Nature's Grasp from Raptor, who leveled up to level 6 because of the kill on Caps. Hunt Summer still finds one, but Diablo will put him in the dirt with Caps. BFX take the Drake and get 2 kills out of it. 400 gold lead over LeBron on this Alistair. Caps looking for the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, can't land it. Raptor just walking through mid down towards his bottom side camp. Skewmon could look for a fight. Unstoppable Onslaught coming out. Flash away from Clear. Grand Starfall being used on the bot side as they go for Kellen, but the Chain of Corruption is going to land onto Skewmon. Knock up from LeBron, who's tanking the tower with the Unstoppable Force as well. Should be tanky enough, and LeBron will be able to walk away with sub 50 HP. Diablo trying to trade back in, but can't get close enough. Raptor unable to help out.
Drink your potions, kids. Lebrov here.
That's Soul Furnace in the Roar of the Slayer. Keeps chipping away at this Jace, who doesn't have teleport. Broken Blade does. So if the fight starts around this Drake, G2 can have a man advantage. Flash forward onto Kellen. Step up presence. Knockback as well. There's the trample stun. There's the knockback. Sleepy Trouble Bubble interrupts the Keeper's verdict, and Kellen taken out by G2. Quick on the trigger finger there from LeBron.
Nice engage. Again, the engages are going to be key here for G2 to jump on BFX before they can get any poke value.
TP behind.
Yeah, they want more.
Does have flash. There's the chain of corruption going down onto Hans Summer. Ground Starfall as well as they chase onto Raptor. Unstoppable onslaught onto the trees, going down. G2 are yelling timber as they look for more. Diablo has to flash away. Skewmon tagging the tower. Broken Blade can do so too. Diablo's going to feel the pain of the axe, and the ricochets out from Hans Summer. Kellen with a good Keeper's Verdict knockup, but Broken Blade still flashes away and escapes. G2 have turned the tables. 5-2 now with a 1K gold lead.
Yep, they had teleport advantage, so they used that teleport advantage.
No, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Kellen was trying. He had a heated up tower there, and tried to keep signing. Oh, all right, fight. Bye.
Yep. That's what happens.
Sleep. Night, night. Yeah, I mean, so they had the teleport advantage, and G2 utilized it effectively. Good early play. Remember, all top side maybe. Now they've been spotted, though, so G2 defenses can try and get there. Hans and Lebrov are in the area.
Cap trying to clear out the way. Cap splashes away from the knockback. Twisted Advance going to follow him, though. Sleepy Bubble does get the sleep. The Force of Will and Scatter the Weak not going to connect. And now G2 are collapsing themselves. What do BFX have left in the tank to fight against this? Vikla tanks up the tower, and Hans Summer opens up the big guns. Caps takes the kill. That's one. They'll look for two as Raptor's caught out by Caps and Lebrov. Skewmon gets the third. Raptor in the end delayed here, but will still die. Caps on a rampage. He's come alive in game 3.
Another 3-0, Medic?
It's just so boring.
To make it quick, because they saw the Alistar and the Sivir killing the control ward, walking over, and since Caps does a very good job evading that, attempt at a tower dive with his weight.
Diablo healed up, but Skewmon still puts the spear through his spine. Callan will follow him in a body bag as G2 are unrelenting here. 3K gold, now their lead, and BFX seem all unaware, all out of sorts.
This is early, because
you can, but again, it's a don't count your chickens before they're hatched sort of situation. I've seen BFX lose a game from a greater gold lead than this already this series. Vikla trying to chase Caps out, Force of Will. Not enough damage, but with the auto in the end, he will take him. There's a shutdown over to Vikla. You told me to dance in celebration, and then immediately Vikla gets a kill. Kobe, what you got to say for yourself?
Haha. I think you can still dance, though. I mean, the reason that I'm pretty confident is because of the team comps. But yeah, you know what? Let's play that game. Let's keep our minds open here. BFX, see what they can do to get back.
It looks like BFX just say, okay, you've invested into this. You use the TP, you use the Rift Herald. We'll let you take the Drake, and instead we'll just look for a bit of pressure in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, they scatter and give up position, and I think they're just going to have to give up a lot as this game progresses. I mean, top wave, look at that. G2 had already prepped top wave, so BFX were there.
Oh, Clear going for the flash knockback. Cannon there for the follow-up with the Nature's Craft now. Caps is down, the knockback with the Keeper's Verdict. Lebrov the new target here as BFX continue to collapse on the cow. Broken Blade realizing he can't really help Lebrov right now. He'll flash, knockback from Cannon, doesn't get the stun, but the piercing arrow finds its mark. As roast beef on the menu now for BFX.
Okay, they're doing it now. BFX starting the comeback, getting a bunch of gold. They can get the tower plates afterwards. Okay, they get one tower plate, and they're going to call it at that. Nice little rebuttal, though, against that wall. Yeah. Go for the engage, grab
damage. For the moment, G2 still holding strong in the mid lane. BFX unable to break that. Clear able to walk away. Grand Starfall coming in as well. Skewmon still diving the tower. Decimating Smash will get the knockup, and Clear healthy for a long time here. They drop the aggro. He dodges the spear. Broken Blade still chasing. Will flash forward, get the kill with the Cell Furnace, but Callan's on his way to try and make this a 1-for-1. He should be able to do so. Diablo coming across from the side. The tower did fall. Skewmon could rejoin, but he's only at half HP. Chain of Corruption used. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we've seen Hans Summer taking down the tower. Broken Blade will pay for the dive with his life. The G2 will take a 1-for-1 and a turret, 2 turrets as well.
Yeah, I think it could have been a bit cleaner for G2, but as you say, they still also
get a little bit more vision, get a little bit of poke. They're not really doing too much against that shield from Broken Blade. Clear trying to take the bot lane tower. Will be able to get that turret. Second of the game for BFX. Decimating Smash out from Broken Blade, not enough. Vikla hanging off to the side to see perhaps if someone oversteps from G2. Clear flanking as well as Caps jumps away. Decimating Smash again from Broken Blade. Little bits of poke on landing from BFX, but it's not enough for now as BB still very tanky on that front line. Caps going in. Doesn't land the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Dragon is up on the map. Clear still looking for a flank of his own. Skewman's going to try and catch him out. Chain of Corruption landing onto Broken Blade. Caps goes in, stunned up. Vikla looking for the knockup as well with the Keeper's Verdict. The Locket shield enough to keep G2 healthy, and with a Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing onto Vikla, the Unleashed Power and the Flash enough to keep him alive for now, but Vikla so low. Broken Blade getting chunked out by Clear. Raptor at half HP. Diablo able to dodge away from the bubble himself. Raptor in the pit with Skewman on top of him. Broken Blade healing up. Diablo steps forward, and Hans Summer sends him back to the fountain. Vikla will join his AD Cammy, and the rest of BFX are damn well fearful. G2 take 4, and they'll take the Drake alongside it.
I love it. No hesitation from G2 members. Flashes just blown for the engages over the wall. Raptor here with his...
Well, he's been spotted now. He's with his fellow countrymen in the Raptors. But yeah, he's going to die. The Baron has been begun by G2. Lebrov gets the knockup, Raptor goes down, the Cow gets it, and G2 will get the Baron alongside.
All right, now, are you
Vikla
with me?
is matching mid lane right now. Clear trying to get some gold, trying to get that objective bounty in his pocket as G2 take down the tier 2 in the bottom side, but Caps is on his way out. Clear has backed away. I see there's only one plate remaining on that tower. Might be shortly to fall. Looks like it survives for now. Clear running on the top side, being taken down as well. It's put into its foundations, and now BFX trying to defend as 4. Clear still in mid. G2 pushing in. Have 1.5 minion waves left on this Baron buff on this push. The poke from BFX does land a little bit onto Lebrov and onto Broken Blade, but really more chip damage than anything else. Nothing too substantial. Force of Will in the Scat of the Week onto Hans Summer. Won't be enough to get the stun. Diablo dodging to the side of the Paddle Star as Lebrov once again comes across. Broken Blade very happy just to tank this up, but with a Chain of Corruption, there's a knockback from the Scat of the Week. Broken Blade just tanks the tower down to half HP, sure, but he doesn't really care too much. 7 seconds left on this Baron push. 2 inhibitor towers down to about half HP apiece. In the end, VFX have held on to their inhibs as the Baron expires.
And they're trying to defend another minion wave here. As you say, the Baron expiring means that
G2 are looking to put the final nail into the coffin for BFX. They'll step forward, they'll try and put a little bit of poke down. Broken Blade there with the Decimating Smash as well. Still 3 seconds before that Chem Soul Dragon does spawn in. Yeah, it's huge, man. He's getting the teleport 223 stacks. And it's Clear is being marked by Lebrov. Nature's Grasp out onto Broken Blade. Chain of Corruption there for the follow-up. But Broken Blade, this is all of BFX just hitting onto him. The Keeper's Verdict cancelled. Unstoppable Onslaught coming out as well. Decimating Smash going to land. Cannon having to flash out. Will use the Locket, but it doesn't save you. Lebrov flashes in, looking for Raptor, who used the Twisted Advance to try and escape. Grand Starfall coming forward as well. They'll go for Diablo. He flashes away from his base, and he's put to sleep. Night! G2 are Diablo's nightmares, as Clear is forced down towards the bottom side. Hans Summer on the hunt, not only for the kill, but for the big 3-0. Vikla trying to escape. The Unleashed Power has nothing behind it. Caps will kill the enemy mid. Only Raptor will stand alive.
G2 have done it! 3-0 here over BFX at first stand. Amazing stuff from them. What a series, especially on Sama. Impressive stuff.
G2 marching down mid. All 5 alive. Broken Blade here with the Bouse special to top it off. He'll find Raptor, who goes extinct like the Velociraptors of old. G2, they have lived in delusion, and now they have demolished BFX. There is hope for EU. Euphoria reigns supreme. A 3-0 for G2.
As well, it can be another really good way to get Galio into the mix. And already I do feel like this is a really robust composition out of Lion. They can snap their fingers, go for a dive, and Berserker
has been able to accomplish by keeping the Xin down is any of these lanes that are extremely low, there at least is no threat of dive. So Berserker's been able to keep his CS close, Saints down 10, Dokla's down, was 11, now 9. So they at least haven't been dove yet.
Yeah, there's the Slurkle value coming on through there as the flash in from Gala, unable to take down Isles here. And getting the Yanara flash, actually a huge deal, as meanwhile, Junja taking a lot of damage as Saint and Inspired trying to lock in this game because Tabe is the coach, and so it makes more sense to use it this time around.
To use a 7-year-old item name?
Yeah, I think so. As Paranoia comes on through here, and the Gargoyle delivery is attempted to come on through as Junja tries to take him down as Saint gets the knock-up on the Brambleback to save his life.
Saint ulting in there, that's a true teammate right there. Yeah,
and Isles is able to pick it up with the Blooming Burst.
Set up on the objectives because they can just push you back with Karma Qs and move speed to kite you. But if they're trying to retake space without hard CC, it's actually quite difficult for them.
Well, Paranoia comes in once more, and the shockwave does come on down. Honku does drag back Saint, as now Junja trying to get something. Flash out from the gargoyle, but I don't know whether he's going. Never mind! Junja realizing he just doesn't have the buttons.
I think he might have been top for Dokla because Junja's decided Dragon's not possible, but he wants to think about going for this 60% health Gnar, but Dokla does a good job clearing the wave.
Yep.
We'll see if Xiaoshu decides to go in for a dive here.
They're actually trying to invest even more as he avoids the Wind Becomes Lightning, trying to get a little bit of value.
Galio's trying to support. Saint might be caught here.
Saint is in a little bit of trouble, but the Karma isn't going to do too much as Mega Gnar almost there as Dokla has the help of his friends and will be able to make his way out. So successful defense of the top side of the map, and they take the Dragon down. Lion ticking over. Well, Lion are going to be able to grab double Dragon in this game. The 2 Tech Drakes going to be picked up, see what the soul is going to be. And it's a Cloud, finally. I feel like all right. Still 1.3k. This is like where I start to get a little bit worried because extending gold advantages is generally something that you want to do as Isles. He's going to do exactly that. Finds a snare on a Vampire as well. And if at first you don't succeed, grab the flash and try again.
That guy's no flash in Australia.
Yeah, and Dokla was in Australia for a little bit, I'm pretty sure. Although that was after my time. But we've got a Paranoia towards this top side of the map as Inspired just going in. We'll be able to get the flash out and flashes after Honku as well, and he should be able to grab this kill. The Gargoyle's so late on this play, but it does not matter. Inspired going to be able to get more and more aggressive here. Has his Trinity Force now completed. And man, I'm just feeling like it could be okay.
It's the power of the Nocturne. When Lion, this is much more the Lion that qualified for first graphic. JDG's finally retaken the river. This would be their point of power to play off of. Lion, I'd say, has had control of this bush for 85% of the game.
Yep. Soul Point now available as well. As Isles being a little bit tricky here. Remember, if JDG get control of this pit, it doesn't actually matter. Lion could always get in, you know?
True.
They throw an Inspired, they get Saint in on top as now Xiaoshu possibly in a little bit of trouble, has to flash immediately, and they can follow as we just explained, and the Renekton will be taken down. Now JDG, no right to be in this area, as already Lion on this Dragon, looking for that Soul Point, be able to get a whole lot of extra movement speed.
You can say JDG really wants to contest this anyway. They're kind of tired of sitting on 0 kills, but very risky here. Inspired, though, no flash on the flank. We'll have to run away.
Yeah. The clone of Inspired running away as well, so that is making me feel like perhaps it isn't him.
I think I was fooled. I think that was the clone of Inspired.
Yeah. No. I think Nocturne did get LeBlanc's passive at one point. I think you haven't been reading the patch notes. True. I know that because you told me that you weren't reading as many patch notes.
No, I read them. The nice thing that they did there is they just waited for Dokla. So he got Mega Gnar to kill the Renekton, and then they waited until he had Mega Gnar again to take the Drake.
Yep.
So they're patient.
Honestly, patient. This is meticulous. Like, just... Yeah. You know it's only 1 turret away from a perfect game?
This is a no-flash Renekton.
Well, it might be no life Renekton as well, as Dokla is going to dive on forward at the same time. There is Dominus running, but it is still a very scared Crocodile, and Dokla is going to be able to grab that kill. Playing through these side lanes,
things are looking good.
They are looking really good. Are we still worried, Jet?
Yes. 1 team fight. With all those bounties, you never know.
You're right. Well, Junja could be in a little bit of trouble himself as Saint. They're going to try and turn it on top of him. Pop Blossom, though, is going to look for Gala, who flashes out of the way. Junja, though, now by himself as Dokla wants to find an angle at the same time as Vampire should be able to get that snare to work out. But JDG, once again, are on the run.
Nice repel there by Lion, and you do the summoner check, see that they have burned flashes on jungle, bot.
We could bring up the comms and maybe it would just be that.
Just wait, we scale like for 25 minutes, because just wait for my ultimate on this, because it is difficult for Lion to actually walk in here.
Well, they don't even have to, right? It is 1 Cloud Drake. You don't need to worry about it, but still, they are going to look for a fight as in goes Inspired, already down to 50% though, and he flashes to try and get himself out of the way. It is going to be the Drake secured by JDG, and they take down the Nocturne. The Baron's already dead as well, as Lion are running away. Dokla flashing out of the back, but it should be Junja falling down as never mind. He's a Xin Zhao. He's basically immortal, and this could be the end of the advantage for Lion as JDG just wandered towards
absolute domination by JDG in that fight. We've been talking this whole game about how JDG needs to be first on the objective.
Yeah.
Energy of the game. But
I mean,
inside, I'm dying.
It is still Soul Point, right?
Yeah.
And Lion lost a Cloud Dragon.
Yeah.
Although equalization,
3 Drakes to 2, Lion would still be advantaged based off that. Or maybe not anymore.
it could be a wave. You know,
Yeah.
it might undulate back the direction of Lion afterwards. We'll just have to see as Paranoia does come down, thinking that they might have found a Crocodile. And he is going to get a little bit frightened. Does get slowed up there as well. Pop Blossom invested to try and take him down as, my God, the damage! And going 1-for-1 is not what Lion was looking for, as JDG with that Baron pushing up the bottom lane.
Yep, they needed to get that kill to have a numbers advantage to defend this turret, but now they are just hoping to trade for inhibitor turrets, because this inhibitor is done for as Dokla tries to take it on the other side.
Yep, Dokla will be able to get that inhibitor turret on the other side of the map, so there is at least that, but he may not be able to get the
I think they're going to try
inhibitor. Oh my goodness, that is okay, that's the Nico. I thought it might have been the clone, but it was not. That was just Isles falling down, as Nexus turret number 1 is going to get taken. There is a Mega Knight here for Dokla, but he's losing his health so quickly because Gala has a few items put together, and he is so scary in this game. Saint goes golden though, and there's a hail of arrows. Junja is still alive. They're just going to kill the Nexus, and JDG just went from losing this game to winning in the blink of an eye.
That's going to be kind of how JDG try to play, is they're going to be trying to engage on more Saint, Berserker, and Isles rather than dealing with the brick front line that Lion has been able to. So I like that draft strategy from Lion.
Ooh, Honku getting aggressive towards Saint here, and if he just continues walking forward, it could be dangerous, but Saint likes this position. I don't know whether he should. The flash comes in, and that is a...
Too deep?
As Dokla here towards his top side is just going to be having a pretty horrible time. As Isles, let's see whether it's going to be a cancel from Berserker, and he is going to cancel that. Now Gala with 300 health to his name. They're going to look for this kill onto the Nami. As the bubble connects once again. Double bubbles from Isles. And that is going to secure the first kill for the bottom lane here on Lion's side. As Inspired really likes the enemy Raptors, man. He is always here, no matter what. Just brawling on this rock.
Yeah, it's definitely his favorite thing to try and steal. And as Malphite, he's much stronger than him right now. Pushes him off of that.
Yeah.
Honku had to go back.
That's a beautiful addition to what could be an inferring of meaning from a thing.
The producer is the character.
All right, there's a bear in the mid lane. As Saint doesn't have flash anymore. Throws down the Arcane Storm, though, in response to Tibbers being thrown down. And, oh dear, another flash forward and another kill here for Honku. Being in control of a lane.
Gala's flash just came back up in this lane as Malphite was thinking about ganking.
Well, Berserker just wandering on forward. Does take a fair bit of damage here as the bubble is going to connect once again. It's a level 5 Alistair, and he's just dead. That will is big time breakable.
Generational game right now from Berserker angle, for sure.
Yeah. And Berserker's Corki has always been pretty good. Even though he didn't necessarily find a whole lot of success when he was in the LCK. Melted by the equalizer, but it looks like Lion will be able to grab this outer turret on the bottom side of the map. First turret blood going over their way, but Junja is in the area.
Yeah. They can deny him off this wave, though, and collect a lot of plates. Inspired is smacking the Drake, so he can't help, but the fact that Alistair is moving up means Dokla has to completely abandon his turret. First turret has already gone over to Berserker in the bottom lane, so the bonus gold isn't there, but this should still give a pretty big lead to Xiaoshu.
This is a pretty scary teleport as well, as we did see that Vampire was in the area, but it looks like Junja is just going to leave because the rest of Lion are making their way up as well. Dokla will just get exhausted just for the slow to stop him from moving further forward. It like that in quite some time this early on in the game. Berserker really having a good one.
Yeah, but Dokla, very unhealthy turret, is going to have to likely just give this one up and then walk through the Alistair.
Oh, he also got another bear coming down here towards his bottom side, but the flash does have to be used to get out of the way of the unstoppable force. Inspired will now have to walk towards the bear and does get stunned on his way up, but he is going to live.
Yeah, and Dokla is going to get dove here or lose another turret with how much time Lion just spent bot.
Yeah, that is a whole lot. As let's see whether Berserker can actually make his way up. You can see he's trying to get there, but I just don't think it's going to work. As he dashes around with the all-out for a little bit, but it is not going to happen. Shelly also going to get a headache as they look to take down this inner turret, and that is a massive amount of gold over to JDG as they swing things back in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, a really good sequence by JDG that all started from the original dive attempt. Eventually, I think Isles should build build the Mikhails. Currently, he has the Imperial Mandate, which is very common. Berserker's maxing damage, and they're breaking the turret.
Yep, that is going to pull Junja away, and he's going to have to flash into his blue pit. That is going to keep him alive, though, as they do take down the turret as Inspired throws down an R button for fun.
Gets the flash.
And okay, Gala did flash out of the way of it. Did miss that one as Headbutt Pulverize does come on through as Vampire looking for a re-engage. The curtains have been called. It's a lot of damage out of this Jhin as he tags Isles with it as well. Finds the ebb and flow to keep himself alive. It's now the double knock-up, the triple knock-up from JDG as they throw the kitchen sink at Lion. It's a double for Junja, and Saint is having to flash his way out. He does have a disengage cone, so he will be able to use that to escape, but it's a big win for JDG.
So you can have mid-cryo, but you have no control over your side lanes, so when you're pushed up in mid, they can flank you specifically from the top side. So Xiaoshu throws the ultimate down. Berserker already spends a lot of time on the equalizer, has to Valkyrie away, tries to re-enter the mid lane. There's the Jhin value there from the root.
Yeah.
You can't say that didn't happen, Atlas.
And honestly, like the Jhin is fantastic utility in this game.
If you're going to play a topside triangle team comp, Jhin is not that bad to have him play. So at this point, Berserker actually not that strong in the relative sense of the game, but he will be strong later with how much gold he got early once he completes full items.
Dokla is just dancing around on an equalizer, and that is a dangerous thing to do. Junja holding in there.
Legitimate secondary threat. I think there's a decent chance they'd have.
Oh, there's the flash there. It's out goes Berserker. Junja looking for an angle here, but it's just Inspired that he's engaging on. Tidal Wave not really doing too much of anything at all as Dokla teleported in. They're looking for Junja, who does use that Warrior Trickster to get himself out of the way. Dokla's still going to be there and does find the Q onto the Monkey, but now the curtains have been called. It's JDG's turn to start this fight as Inspired is just dead. Oh my goodness, had the ultimate still up and available as the equalizer goes down as well. It's not exactly the greatest position. They're underneath the enemy turret, but it doesn't seem to matter. JDG just get in there and take them out. There's the all-out from Dokla as well, as Honky was tanking the turret for such a long time, but he's distracted by so many JDG members, and that is going to be them just cutting down Lion where they stand.
As much time for Saint to get free gold as possible, because Saint wasn't coming. He was just in the top lane the whole time.
Maybe it's Saint's time, as these are some low health bars. Possible angle here. Don't have any vision in this Baron pit. As Honky will be able to push him away. So no, never mind.
That would be rather ambitious if he tried to.
I just wanted to see like flash arcane.
They lose everyone.
Well, Dragon up and available here as Dokla down to 50% health. As in comes Vampire, finds himself a Pulverize, but he might be a little bit too far forward. Never mind, Honku does make his way round the corner. There's the Unstoppable Force. Inspired going to hit it this time, as the Tidal Wave is also much better this time around. Vampire already taken out as Honku just getting hit by a rock and will get taken down. Still the Nami is dead and Berserker is fighting against Tibbers. Almost loses that one at the same time. However, now it's just Xiaoshu and Gala alive.
Big fight there for Lion, getting 3 for 1 and currently preventing the Drake, so they get a big bunch of bounty gold, making this a 3,000 gold game. And if they can redeploy in time to take this Drake, they could get soul point as well.
This could be...
If Saint would help them on the Drake, they'd definitely be able to kill it faster, but he takes the wave, it's going to be completely fine.
No flank for the Annie either. So JDG, they might just have to pull the trigger with information over to Lion, as Inspired does spot him out here. Cute little poro there from Honku, but I don't think that that is going to allow him to get his flank off. As stun does come down, they're thinking about trying to get on top of Inspired instead.
Yeah, the lower this Dragon gets, the better it is for Lion. He gets a lot of damage on Honku. Here's a fight.
Yeah, Tibbers does come down a little bit early in this one as well, as the curtains have been called. Junja has control of the Drake, though, for the moment, as Inspired is off to the side. Saint is going to get engaged on, but the flash out here from Junja as this Victor is starting to do so much damage. Still Inspired is out of the fight. That health bar is way too low, and the Drake will be secured by JDG. Can they get anything more, though? That is going to be the question, as Xiaoshu does have a full health bar, but doesn't exactly have teammates with the same, so he is just going to back away.
Mission accomplished for JDG from Lion. It's just a Baron.
Well, Inspired will get some vision on to Xiaoshu here. I don't think he wants to be engaging onto him and Honku once again, though, as Gala has taken a lot of damage from just the Baron. Their Baron damage is actually just not that great, as in he goes once again. Honku having to deal with this big old rock. Gala does take down Isles, but Vampire will be following soon. The Arcane Storm, like we were saying, is doing a whole bunch of work still. Oh my goodness, Xiaoshu just does so much damage in this game, and they look to get on top of Saint. They will be able to do so. There's the all-out from Dokla, allows him to travel away from the battle and takes down the Rumble to boot. Still Junja's going in, but these shields are working for Lion. Still it's a 3 for 2.
Wow, what looked like a disastrous start ends in a 3 for 2, but I still think JDG should have enough up to take this Baron, no problem. Saint is TPing back on midway, but it just seems like, it seems rather bold to try and stop this Baron, but that looks like what they're going to try to do.
I think you probably could. I mean, the Baron is doing a fair bit of damage, and it's only a Jhin, right? He doesn't do a lot of damage to Baron. Still, it is down exceptionally low, and the teleport is going to mean that they are not going to be able to get that one done. Even if it was just a Alistar there, finds a double pulverize as well, and oh dear, Saint. He just teleported back in, and now he's going to take the Death Chamber route in order to get out.
I think it would have been better not to contest the Baron.
You know what?
Yeah.
As far as the hindsight is 2020 is concerned, I would agree with you.
They hit the end of these fights.
Yeah.
Even though they have a Knight's Vow on him, I believe, from Inspired, he dies right away, and then Xiaoshu at level 20 just has so many base stats, it takes so long for Lion to finish them off. And Saint playing with fire to re-engage it can't get worse.
Can't lose 4-0.
Nope, not yet.
Oh man, you are just a
Beacon
of hope. Exactly. It's beautiful to see as Ingo's Berserker looks for Junja. He's almost just dead. And whoa, just one extra auto would have done it. But the engage on the other side is still really dangerous. But Dokla will be able to find Honkyu. They get the pick. And now Berserker is looking for even more. This Corki does a lot of damage. Like you were saying, just needs to stand and hit. What about Valkyrie forward and hit?
I mean, Inspired still has ultimate. He's hunting.
Oh, Gala could be his target as well. Xiaoshu is going to be there. The wagon wheel comes out, and he finds the double knock-up. Berserker wants to kill Gala, and let's see whether he can do so as Xiaoshu is on the gravity well. My God, he does so much damage. Uses his onions here to buy a bit of time, but I have a feeling he's still dead. And JDG, they fall apart. Lions pounce, and they are looking to try and push even further.
As they say in Brazil, hope is the last one to die. They have Gala, Xiaoshu, and Honkyu dead, and they're trying to push bot.
Let's see, that's a lot of crystalline overgrowth. Not a lot of people have been down here towards this side of the map on Lion's side, but they're looking to push even further. And Berserker does so much damage to these structures.
I think they're going to go for the end. It's difficult. The Baron,
5 seconds.
The Baron has fallen off, so they won't have to deal with as many minions. Honkyu will be alive, though. He's going to try and clear the wave.
Well, Junja, Vampire, they have so much AoE CC as well. You cannot stack up against them, but still, the gravity well comes down. The bubble is not going to quite land there as the headbutt back from Vampire. He's doing the best that he can, but Junja should be going down. The Cyclone comes on through. That is the GA that is going to work out. The Pulverize onto 3. Lion need to take down these Nexus turrets before the rest of the respawns come in. As Junja, he should be going down here as Saint. Can he find it? No! He turns it around! They look for it though, and the second Nexus turret is going to go down the Nexus. He's getting focused, but it's Xiaoshu that's left alive. One more auto!
In line with all the bans that were thrown down to Inspired, it made sense that he flexed the Ambessa to the jungle.
Yep.
And they just need to make sure him and Ezreal have good games, otherwise the MR stack from the top side back off a little bit, maybe take a base.
Do like that he's not playing overly aggressively, looking for that kill, but now that he gets this crash to come on forward, he just flashes on in, doesn't find the Q. There's the first blood.
What a play!
And will just wander his way out. Junja not able to respond.
As Berserker still doesn't have flash, but does have E. Able to not have to burn it right now. Watch out, Dokla.
Yep, there is a Vault Breaker flash, and then the cease and desist comes in. He's just dead.
Also, that another big trade onto Honkyu. It is working out so far.
Yep, certainly is. And I think it does make sense for a guy that played on the same team as Showmaker for quite some time. As yeah, he goes in, there's a grand entrance there as well. Quickness comes on down. And Saint doing his very best to try and escape this one. I think he's going to be able to. That is, I feel like pretty much immortal as he goes in. And that means that they clear out the way very comfortably, take the tempo marker into the river, and look to see whether they can use that to grab themselves a Drake. As in the meantime, Saint just going to be running real fast, and they're going to turn this into an engage onto Vampire as well. He's going to be forced to go for a reset. It does feel like Lion have a lot of control here, although Inspired does get charmed up, stashes around. He'll be able to survive.
Isles has first move, might go for re-engage.
Yeah, there's the public execution as Isles gets on in there, cease and desist to try and mitigate some of that CC. But Junja should still be going down despite being able to do a fair bit of damage. The flash in from Inspired, that'll do it. Solar Flare for the last hit, not sure about that one. But still, I mean, it gets the job done. But that is not what they're going to do. Instead, Junja just going to head over towards this Drake. Look to try and take that one down. That'd be first Dragon of the game at almost 15 minutes. It's one of the latest first Drakes that we've had so far this tournament, as Vampire just has to quickness grand exit. That's a lot invested to try and stop a back, but at least he does.
It stopped the back. And now Junja overstaying on the map a little bit after Drake. Saint sniffs it out. Still very close competitive game here. This first Drake Chemtech soul means we're incredibly far away from a
We're going between the worlds here as the Realm Warp to deliver rise towards this top lane. Grim Deliverance, but the Ghost gets Saint out of the way, and Xiaoshu is just going to be held at arm's length and taken down. It's Saint that grabs that kill, his second of the game, and Lion just really not allowing for any openings. It should be Dokla grabbing this top outer turret as well.
Yeah, he's been chipping away at this turret, having a lot of push onto the Zehen, and Saint is having just a great game.
He really is. What a bounce back from game number 2.
Definitely has to watch out here, though.
Yep, Arcane Shift should be able to get him over there, but Junja is just going to throw down the ulti. There's the knockup. Charm is connected. Oh, that layering of CC was perfect out of JDG.
And, Inspired has 2 levels on Junja, by the way.
That is a... What? Why?
Yeah. The 40
so
CS.
much farm. Okay,
yeah.
Well, Saint is now potentially in trouble. Grim Deliverance is going to come on in. He's trying to run this one out. As the Grand Entrance going to hold him in position, and there's a shutdown going over to the Zehen, and I think as Inspired, wondering where he wants to use it.
Me too.
Thinking about going for a bit of an engage towards Gala, but just takes down that turret. There's the charm onto Inspired. The quickness doing a fair bit of work there, but where's the follow-up? The damage is not quite there as now Dokla turns up. Doesn't quite get the angle. Cease and desist does come in, but the knockups are returned. And into the backline goes Xiaoshu. This guy is so big. The Grim Deliverance so finds nothing. Still Saint is going to die, and Lion will still be losing this team fight, and possibly the Dragon as well, unless Berserker can make some heroism happen.
Lion really not on the same
will be able to take this Dragon, because without any health on your jungler, makes things real hard to smite. And so Lion will be able to take this one down, and they'll grab themselves a crab to boot. There that is. Charm goes wide, and Lion this time, without a contest, going to be able to take that Drake.
Good amount of damage they're able to get down onto Junja. He's having a tough game with how much Inspired has been countering his jungle. So 210 CS to 150. Yeah, thinking about the way these team fights are going to progress, so much of it is about who can make the right engage. If the team that goes in first might actually win this one.
Dokla is going to be able to bounce back to the other side of the ultimate here, as Solo Player is just going to slow down Vampire, but he doesn't seem too worried about it. Isles still looking for an opportunity. There is no turret up here as Inspired and Saint are both delivered, but the teleport does come on in. Grand Entrance only gets the knock-up onto Saint as Honku takes a lot of damage. In they go as Berserker is kind of free hitting. They do take down Junja, but it is Inspired that falls as well. Isle's going to be taken down, and Gala is just hitting whatever the heck he likes in the backline. And is going to be able to live through it, doing so much damage. And JDG, are they just looking for a Baron? That'd be a little bit frightening, as Honku is going to be able to take the Crystalline Overgrowth and takes down the turret.
That could be the game that swings in JDG's, the fight that swings the game in JDG's favor as they get 3-4-1.
JDG into a 3,000 gold advantage. Lion not out of it just yet, but it is looking more and more difficult as this game goes on. And Xiaoshu possibly caught out of position, does have that Grim Deliverance. Saint goes golden to avoid that damage as now Berserker has finally turned up. But Xiaoshu is so difficult to kill. Inspired goes in, but him and Saint are just dead. And the rest of Lion couldn't really do anything about it. Honku will be able to find a charm as well, as that is not the teleport that Dokla was looking for. He tries to go between the worlds, but the world he finds is in the Death Chamber.
Xiaoshu is out of control in this game, absolutely dominating Saint at the start of that fight.
On this hand, and Dokla, I don't think, is going to be able to clear out these Baroned up minions in time. Rebel Baron power play looking a whole lot better here. 1,600.
Just because of what happened in last game. Look at that.
It just sounds a bit weird when you say it a little bit wrong. It's, okay, Isles, let's have the Eclipse, but the inner turret is just going to fall. And man, JDG just moving like a steamroller towards Lion, and it looks like Lion just cannot get themselves into the positions that they want to. Isles moves up. I don't know whether that Zenith Blade hitting would have been a good thing, but now JDG go for the re-engage. Again, Vampire just takes control. The charm connects as well, but they go in between the worlds. There is the public execution. Dokla grabs one kill, but unfortunately, that is probably all they're going to get, as it's a double for Gala. And Berserker is standing on a control ward, wanting to try and take someone down. Dokla gonna get delivered grimly, and Xiaoshu should be able to flash on forward to help grab this for Gala. There is the ace, and maybe JDG have had enough of this game.
When JDG starts winning a team fight, they win the team fight.
They really do continue to win the team fight.
On the edges of these fights. What a beautiful finish to this game by JDG.
I have to say, the player of the game is a little bit easier. This time around as well, Vampire has been just so incredibly good. As you can see, Isles doing his very best to distract these minions and JDG, but the Nexus turrets are just going to fall down. Half a turret remaining, and they will be able to push this minion wave forward. So JDG will be able to collect match point here, but Lion made them work for it.
These team comps remind me of 2020 or 2021 League of Legends. Aside from the medal. Aside, everything but the medal. Reminds me of 5 years ago.
It's quite old school.
Go for red buff because the Jinx Thresh have push, but might be going for a quick gank here.
Yeah, the flash forward from Isles just to hold Vampire in position. There's the Gravitum as well, as Berserker will be able to find that moonshot, and there's first blood to the Aphelios. Berserker, yeah, he wants game 5. And the first dragon of the game could be an early one here at 6.5 minutes, but Junja going to be moving forward, gets right on top of Inspired here, only level 5 on the Sejuani, as the Steadfast Presence is going to wear off. Berserker finally comes in. There's the Emperor's Divide as Vampire gets pulled back, but it's Gala that they want to take down. Red-white guns here for Berserker, and he wants to use them. Takes down Vampire for his first kill of this exchange, and the anchor just barely goes wide, but this should mean that the Dragon will go over the line if they want it.
Inch away from 2 kills, and they burned the gun not in favor of JDG.
They didn't want it, and also it was an early Steadfast Presence there, as well as Isles is moving in. Honkyu just realizing that he has to try and go all in onto Saint. Isles was just walking this entire time. Saint almost just dies, walks back to get the kill with an auto. That was insanity. Does have his Barmy Cinder now complete as well.
He never will.
Yeah,
that's how that lane
it's
works.
feeling like he just has the items that he needs.
Oh, hello.
As Isles is just going to move on over, does manage to lock down Honkyu for now, finds the depth charge there as well as in goes Saint. The box is down though as Vampire is controlling this pretty well. Super Mega Death Rocket lands onto Isles, but that is not the target he's really looking for. Some overwhelming happening here, but Saint not going to be taken out, and it's Vampire that falls first. Finally, Junja makes his way into this fight, and the sidestep on the zap is good from Isles, who is now looking to try and get on in here. The Moonlight Vigil comes down, and Berserker is going to make his presence known. Not going to quite get enough damage there, though, as the rebuttal gets the auto attack to go back towards the Aphelios.
Really well played top lane. That's 5 people top lane.
Okay, well, Dokla might be dying here, ladies and gentlemen, as he does get knocked up. The Infernal Chain's not going to pull back Xiaoshu, as it looks like Lion are going to trade this for a dragon. And wait a second, is Dokla just going to be okay? Flashes towards Junja as he was tanking up the turret. There's the Super Mega Death Rocket, and down will go this Aatrox. Junja almost dead for his trouble. They traded for a Drake. Is this going to be enough? As now Honkyu, once again, good rebuttal. As, of course, a little bit telegraphed is the Emperor's Divide. So Honkyu going to be able to avoid that CC.
Basics about League of Legends that are just always true. And I feel like Tabe hasn't forgotten those things, even though he's been a coach for so long, as we see Honkyu with no flash getting engaged on.
Well, there's the Arctic Assault flash, and the hook is going to come through just after the rebuttal wears off. Beautiful timing there for this game. Lion would like to be able to take this one, but they don't really need to. Double Dragon was already secured by them, as Rift Herald is going to be on their mind instead, as the hook is going to connect onto Isles this time around. The box does go down there as well, as he does have the Aftershock to keep himself alive, and it keeps himself alive the entire time. Berserker looking to chase down the rest of JDG after they wasted so much trying to kill this Nautilus, and Gala has to use Barrier to survive. And as far as the gold is concerned, 700, 800 is the lead that Lion does have. As now Dokla chasing after Honkyu here. He doesn't have a lot of buttons left available. Finds the Q there. Second Q comes on forward as well, as Saint is going to make his way in, but Junja should be able to catch him there as well. And now is it him that's on the wrong position on the map? But of course, Isles is going to be there, so he's going to be able to back up his mid laner. It's going to be Dokla going back home though, so they have to play a little bit carefully.
Yep, I think they lose a little bit of tempo from that.
Silent never to avoid people interrupting one another.
It could work. I mean, this is how brainstorming works. Eventually, we'll arrive on something that is simpler, maybe calling it tempo, but we're not there yet. We need to do the exploration.
Yeah, no, we're definitely not there yet. We're iterating. As Vampire is going to be playing them back, does land the hook there onto Isles as well, as who gets thrown into the enemy team. The train just drives past them, as Dokla thankfully avoids getting knocked up by that one. Somehow Isles is still alive and wants to continue fighting, as Berserker with Crescendum Calibrum is pretty scary from long range, but now has the Infernum as well. Moonlight Vigil comes down. Gala taking so much damage from that one. Man, that'll hurt so much more later on in this game. Thankfully, right now, doesn't quite have the items that he wants, but still, there's a bit of a taste test.
Boy, we are in for some team fights later on in this game. Good thing Saint has Mercury Treads there, doesn't let them chain the CC. Fairly unreliable engage on the side of JDG as we
kill this Drake, but they're not really checking it. They don't have information. It is just going to be the mid wave being pushed on forward. Gala is going to move on over, and he has the damage. So this Drake is just going to be taken. There is the hook connecting onto Inspired, onto Isles, sorry.
Well played by JDG. They haven't given up turrets.
Yeah, just keep it leashed. And can Lion actually find an angle here, but on the retreat, all right. I mean, that's enough experience. As Hook is going to connect onto Isles here, gets thrown back into the box. There's the depth charge, going to connect onto Honku at the same time. As Vampire needed to get himself out of there. Once again, Isles just survives. The rebuttal is going to go down. Oh, all of the flashes come through, but the death sentence is for Saint, and now Gala gets excited. Into the front line goes Xiaoshu as well as the Scion turns up with infinity health. What the heck is that health bar? As he wanders towards Berserker, who flashes in. I'm not sure about that one, as there is a flash forward from Dokla, does manage to shut down Gala right there, and out goes Inspired, back in goes Isles, but the follow-up damage just is not there, and in fact on both sides the damage is kind of missing outside of Dokla, who does want to try and put them down. The health bars of JDG are low, but they still win the fight.
And the heart rate is high after that one. That was insane. Both Saint and Berserker saw their hero moment, and it was
reset.
Gala's not there.
Yeah, so
Lion
that is just
the bluff.
That is just Soul Point going on over to JDG. The drain.
Yeah.
Or something like that, unfortunately. They will be able to grab this cross map out of turret. So Berserker getting a bit of extra money is certainly good news. Does feel a little bit like Lion are playing scared, but this might not be that opportunity, as there is the rebuttal. Beautifully done, but the hook is actually going to be used as engaged. Dokla gets into a great position, trying to jump on top of Honku, but I think he's just dead. Yeah, Gala is going to get excited once again, as Berserker is fighting Xiaoshu. This time around, though, he does have the Lord Doms, and Moonlight Vigil is going to connect. The rebuttal throws it back! Man, he has that up every time he needs it, and now the Scion goes in one more time. Super Mega Death Rocket not even needed, as Berserker is dead, and JDG, they'll find the Baron right there after they win the team fight.
It just
couple of minutes to play with it.
Just looks like Lion is second-guessing themselves. After the team fight where Saint and Berserker both failed their flashes, Saint a little hesitant on the ultimate, but then the hesitancy ends up being a death sentence against a team who can team fight as well as JDG, and now the 1,000 gold lead the Berserker had is 1,000 gold lead on the side of Gala, and Lion's going to need some help.
Certainly are. Let's see whether they can find themselves a team fight. Like, still Berserker is doing a lot of damage. Yep. 3.5 items is certainly a big deal, but everything went right in that last team fight. There is the Glacial Prison to come on down, but Xiaoshu is even going to get Mikhail's actually to get on out of that one, but I don't think it really did and damage, if I was counting.
Yeah, and now Dokla's kind of in river, so they've kind of done it. They've made it through to near river while the Drake is still up. So that's step one.
There's the flash in from Isles, looking to try and get that knock up as the hook is going to connect onto this Nautilus. Gala down to 50% health, and the Drake hasn't been taken just yet. In goes Inspired, wanting to try and take down this dragon. Can he deny the soul? That is the question. No, he cannot. There is the soul over to JDG, and now they're looking for the team fight. Berserker still alive for now, as Xiaoshu will be taken down. Into the backline goes Dokla as well. He was able to do a bit of work, but it's a triple kill for Gala, and down goes the Aphelios. The ace is completed for JDG. Yeah, these respawns, I mean, it's going to be 7 seconds on Isles, but I don't think he's going to be able to defend this one. And Honku is up and available. Gala is alive as well, getting excited, moving towards these Nexus turrets. This Jinx just obliterates structures in front of him. And Gala is not going to be perturbed by this Nautilus. Inspired's turn now just to throw his body at the problem. Is able to take down Junja and then flash out to keep himself alive. And that may have actually kept the game at least alive for a little bit longer for Lion.
Yeah, keeps their first stand alive for now. They're also trying to teleport in. This is an Aatrox. If they can get the Jinx Mel, it would at least be a lot of gold.
Yeah, teleport does come through from Xiaoshu, whose health bar is looking even more than infinity, which I know is impossible, but it does look larger than when I said it was infinity before. Now Saint looking to try and find an angle as Hex Gates will be able to bring Inspired in as well. Could this be an opportunity? Can they kill Gala? That's going to be the question, as Saint almost dies to a Super Mega Death Rocket. There is the Glacial Prison that comes down as well. And I think Lion have decided that maybe this is not the play that they want to go for.
They couldn't get Berserker back on the map. This is as good a chance Lion's going to get.
Yep. I mean, there's a rock in front of the pit, so it's not exactly an open door. Let's see whether Xiaoshu can get himself in there. But man, this goes down so incredibly fast. It is going to be secured there, but is this going to be the end of the game? On top of that is Inspired extraordinarily low. The mel damage is just gigantic, as Berserker doesn't quite find the Moonlight Vigil, and now they just need to get the heck out as Isles already to go down.
For the Mel, they are shredding through Lion. Isles are down for another 25 seconds, but there's no Baron minions. It makes it a little bit harder for JDG to try to end.
Yeah, XX Soul, man, it is so incredibly difficult to deal with this. As Glacial Prison not really doing too much of anything at all onto Junja, who's just pretty tanky at this point in time.
But you know what's not tanky? The minions.
True.
They need the minion play when you're behind. You don't have the luxury of building the defensive items.
Ooh, Hook is going to come on forward here.
Some
They are
damage
going
down.
to try to kill the
Berserker
sign
does damage.
Yeah, Berserker does have his Bloodthirst now completed. He does a lot of damage. Xiaoshu might need to be teleporting back into this fight. Does want to do so to get that big old shield anyway.
Yeah.
As Dokla wants to deny it. And it's very dark on that portion of the map.
Elder Flip, 4 seconds.
Hook going to connect onto Inspired, but Inspired is not too worried about it. Dokla's still just biding his time, wants as much information as possible.
Yeah, he's trying to find the Scion. He was unable to, so Scion's going to be able to teleport back with the Giga Shield. But when in doubt, they're hitting Elder.
Kind of insane, though, at this point in time, as he's finally spotted on that flank ward. Inspired will be able to make this a 50-50. Let's see who's going to be able to lock down the Dragon. As Dokla getting into that backline, it's going to be taken by Junja. They will kill him for it. It's red-white guns for Berserker, but I just don't think that is going to be enough, as the Dragon's Wrath is going to come down onto Lion and will take away their opportunities here at first stand. JDG, they have a date with BLG, and they're looking to lock it in right now as Honkyu teleports to the enemy base.
Dokla trying to hold it off for as long as possible, but it is fighting against the impossible as JDG have 4 in the base.
Oh man, I do love the idea though. They went for the flip. Unfortunately, Junja is able to lock that one down yet again, and JDG will pick up the 3-1.